that tonight. Here are some more problems with the structure of the sewer district. The sewer district is an independent government entity, very rare. A part of the reason is because the footprint of the sewer district crosses into 4 different counties, but not the entire county area in any of them. And so it doesn't make any sense to have it subject to the jurisdiction of one city or one county, and therefore it became an independent government entity, which means it is not subject to authority or oversight by any municipal government, by any county government, any regional government entity, the state government, or the federal government. None of them, none, can tell the sewer district what to do. The president cannot issue an executive order telling the sewer district what to do. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. The NEORSD is not accountable to voters. The Board of Trustees members are all appointed. There is no expiration date for their appointments. Although there was one written in the law, it's been ignored for 40 years. And the members of the Board of Trustees tend to serve until they move or die. There is no recall. If one of the Board of Trustees, if the majority of the citizens believe that that person was not behaving properly as a trustee, was not doing a good job, was not doing an honest job, you can't impeach a Board of Trustees. You can't impeach a trustee. You can't recall a trustee. You can recall the governor. You can impeach the Chief Justice of the Ohio Supreme Court. You can't touch a trustee on the sewer district. The only way they can be removed is by the person who appointed them. Do you think that happened very often in the last 40 years? Never happened. The sewer district, not by design, but by nature, its work is hidden from you. Its work is underground. They do sewers. So unlike almost any other government entity, or any entity, you can't go take a walk or drive your car and go see how are they doing on this project. Are you going to climb down in the sewer? No. So their work, while they have no oversight from any government entity, while they have no accountability to voters or citizens, while their work is hidden from public view and unavailable for any kind of scrutiny by public, by you, by the media, what happens? What happens when you have a government entity like that? Well, then you get into the land of unintended consequences. Because of all the reasons we said, the NEORSD, and I mean this is no offense to the sewer district, it is unintentionally designed and built for misspending, waste, overspending, self-interest, and corruption. And that has been proven time and time again over 40 years. And I just want to mention one thing over about the many years bringing us right up to today. In 40 years, for me, the most definitive single statement about the sewer district was by the former executive director for many years, I believe 25, 26 years or more. Irwin O'Deal was executive director of the sewer district. When he was asked, I believe it was in a court case, I believe it was under oath, Mr. O'Deal, who has since retired, with, as far as anyone knows, a good record at the sewer district. When he was asked, in the entire history of the sewer district, how many times were extra payments for contracts, contract extras, over and above. You know, those contracts are big contracts. And if a contractor wanted an extra payment for whatever reason, he had to submit a request, a formal request with details and explanations, and it had to be considered by the Board of Trustees and the Executive Director and administrative staff and legal, and go through all that. And Mr. O'Deal was asked, how many times were extra payments rejected outright or adjusted so that they did not receive the full amount that they requested as an extra? We're not talking about base contracts now. We're talking extras. And over 40 years, hundreds of millions of dollars in extra payments were requested. And Mr. O'Deal, and this struck me at the time, it still is astounding to me. In his entire tenure, and before that, as far as he knew, Mr. O'Deal said, we never rejected a single request, we never deducted a penny from a single request in the entire history of the NEORSD. That's what you get when you have an independent government entity operating underground without accountability to taxpayers or any other government entity. Now we go to Project Clean Lake. That's the new project. That's the reason you're paying so much more in sewer rates. It's still not clean enough. And the EPA is right, and the sewer district is right to respond to that. A lake area, the Great Lakes, are one of the most precious natural resources we have in this country, that we have on Earth. It's the greatest supply of fresh water on the planet Earth. It is our duty to protect Lake Erie and to make it cleaner if we can. Now, this is Earth. It's not heaven. And I don't know if we can get to 99%, but apparently we're going to try. Okay, a couple years ago, the sewer district entered into a consent decree with the EPA. They cut a deal. And the consent decree, which is the story of Project Clean Lake, says, okay, we're going to spend $3 billion. $3 billion to get to the EPA's goals. We're going to reduce raw sewage discharges from 4.5 billion gallons to 494 million gallons. So it looks to me like 90% over 25 years. And we're going to do that, unfortunately, we decided, or not we, the sewer district decided, hey, let's not take a look at anything that's been invented in the last 2,000 years. Let's just go with the old technology. Let's go with what the Romans did when the EPA told them, hey, you gotta do something here. And for that reason, we are going to spend at least $3 billion, and I should put a footnote there that at a very important public meeting in Parma 4 years ago now, when the sewer district officials were asked, hey, is $3 billion the number? The sewer district has a long history of cost overruns, of projections being written up by Pollyanna and then enforced by someone with a much closer touch with reality. And they were asked, we won't spend any more than $3 billion, will we? And the sewer districts, well, you never can tell. They were asked, could it be $5 billion? Could be. Could it be 6? Maybe. Could it be 8? There's a chance. Could it be 10? I don't think so. So the $3 billion is not carved in stone, but it's a good number to start with. We're going to spend $3 billion on what they call gray infrastructure. That's ancient technology. We're going to build 7 underground tunnels the same way the Romans and the Greeks did. We're going to use stone and mortar, and we're going to have good, strong people and nice heavy equipment, and it's going to take 25 years, and we're going to build tunnels, some of which are 5 miles long, and at least 24 feet in diameter. These are big tunnels, and they're only there to hold water. They're big water pails. And these tunnels, what they will do is restrain the water in heavy rains so that the wastewater treatment plants are not overcome. And so they can slow down the rate at which the storm water, the excess water, flows to the wastewater treatment plant instead of letting it all just rush into the lake as it overflows. Okay, those are the problems. And it happens, I stand corrected, maybe, later by sewer district officials, from 10 to 20 times a year. Some experts tell me it's an average of about 10 to 12. Others, including some at the sewer district, say, oh no, it's much more than that. You be the judge for yourself. You can tell when it's raining hard. See how many times that happens this year. Okay, now there's going to be 7 of these tunnels. And one, they started several years ago in anticipation of Project Clean Lake. That's the Mill Creek Tunnel. The Mill Creek Tunnel is, according to my information, nearly complete. Is it totally complete now? Totally complete. Totally complete. It's a structure that can hold 75 million gallons. Hold it back and let it flow at a pace so that it can not overrun, but be accepted by the southerly wastewater treatment plant. And the other tunnels are going to be very similar to Mill Creek. Some not quite as big, but generally very, very similar. Similar in construction, similar in design, different parts of the region. So I think it's only fair, and I hope you would agree, that Mill Creek Tunnel, since it's complete now, that's the first sample of what we can expect from Project Clean Lake. And it's a fair indication of what we should expect in the 23 years to go on the plan. So I ask you, how's NEORSD doing at Mill Creek? Well, take a look. Not so good. Cost overruns, corruption, overspending, contractors overpaid, contractors stealing payments, payments in excess tens of millions of dollars. And to recover that money, and that's all only the money they know about, to recover that money,